Hello everyone, hello and welcome. We are in week 5 of the Bee and Elf Quilt-Along. Where are the weeks going? Wow, week 5. So in essence, or in theory, I guess we should say, is we've already sewn together, we've cut everything out, we've sewn the top and the bottom, and it looks like you've got an elf. Is this correct? I've been seeing elves pop up on my feed, which is so exciting. So if you are in any stage of the game, even if you are starting right now and you're still thinking about your fabric pull, if you tag me, please tag me at Be So Inspired. I would love to just share or comment or all the things. So please do tag me. It's so much fun to see. It just brings a feeling of joy every time I see them. So thank you so much for everyone that's been doing that. Also, this group is just getting full of elves. Wow. So excellent. If you are joining us in Inspired Quilting Facebook group, please do keep on sharing all the time. It's so much fun. If you're joining us on the YouTube channel, please do like and comment on this video. And also you can subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. Thank you everyone. Week 5. This is the woven border. So it looks trickier than it is. We're going to do strip piecing for this border. So it's actually going to go quite quick. It looks like it's sewn on the bias, but you're actually sewing it together. So it's not going to be too pulling around. And we're going to give you some tips and tricks on that. Now, I know some people are thinking, oh, I got the elf. I don't need to do the woven border. I'm done. So I brought something that might inspire you. Actually, my daughter came upstairs in it the other day and I thought, oh, I need this. So I brought this little Santa hat and I thought it would be really fun. I don't know, I won't show you just yet with my Be an Elf that I'm making right now, but I just thought it would be really fun to take some pictures afterwards with our elf quilts and our, and a Santa hat. That'd just be so fun. So, oh, you can only imagine. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. We also, as promised last week, we did get some snow here, actually quite a bit of snow. So I'll try and get some photos outside in the snow also. So this week is the woven border week, and it is just simple and quick and fun. You will need to make sure that you do cut your strips exactly. It is on the 7/8 of an inch, I believe. And it's 1 7/8 of an inch, I believe. Yes. And so do make sure that you do cut them at the right distance. And then you also use your 1/4 inch inseam when you are sewing, and you're going to just end up with these perfect little woven borders. So the woven border it looks like it's sewn on point. It's this just wonderful, wonderful little border at the bottom. It just adds this kind of like ribbony, Christmassy feel. I use this triangle piece in here as the background, but you don't have to use it as a background piece either. So I use mine as a background piece. I should note and say that these cutting directions are separate from the actual elf cutting directions. So you can find them on page 11 of your pattern. And you can opt not to have the border. I was just teasing earlier about that. But I need a helper here. I do have 4 kids, but they're all in school right now. And thankful for that. Yes. So anyways, yes, you don't have to use this as a background. It can all be ribbon colors if you want to in there, or you can use it as I have done and have it as the background. So I'm going to drop the camera down and I'm just going to show you how quick and easy this is to make. All right, so here we have laid out our ribbon weave border assembly strips. So I have cut out a D, an F, and a G, and I've laid them in 3 different patterns. This is going to be strip set A, strip set B, and strip set C. So the wonderful thing about this woven border is that you're not piecing all of these tiny little squares, these almost 2-inch squares together. You are going to be sewing them in strips and then cutting them into these sections. And then you're going to have a section A, a section B, and a section C. So you'll just follow it along on your pattern. This is on page 11 here. And you'll just, after you get them sewn together, it does tell you which direction to press to. So for example, in this first strip set A, it says that you should be pressing the seams towards the F. So then if you just make sure you take note of which direction the seams are getting pressed, when you nest this together with this piece, all the seams will just nest out perfectly and nice, and you're just going to have this wonderful flat woven border. So after you sew them together and you have them all pressed, you can come back here and you're going to cut out your strips. So you'll cut out the size that you need. It says 1 7/8. So then you'll just make sure you cut as many as you need and just keep them section A, section B, section C. Then you'll flip the page and you'll go to the layout section. So the layout section is on page 12, and I'm just going to bring my quilt back here for this part. All right, like this. So even though it looks like these are assembled on the bias, they are not. It's just done on point. And so this is actually a row here. So it's just as if you were sewing them straight together like this, but they're just offset a little bit. So you just want to make sure you have all your corners matched. You're going to take these background pieces, sew them to each strip set. So you've got your A, B, and C strip set, and then your A, B, and C strip set again. And you're just going to continue on in that way all the way. Now, again, I said earlier, you didn't have to have this gray as the background. Here, you can have this as another ribbon color if you prefer that. So that is, I'll leave that one up to you. And I'll just show you in here that, you know, even with the best intentions, and when you write a pattern, this is why layout is so great, because I obviously didn't even notice this, and I have a little error here. I have these two put together, so I must have needed to put that one there and here and just messed them up a little bit. But I always think it's so nice to have just, you know, something special and unique in each quilt. And we'll just see who even notices, right, when they're snuggling under that one. So yeah, if you just press or sew these all together, all of these seams will nest. You just pin them there. Instead of ironing this out afterwards, you're going to just make sure you press it. We don't want it to like pull and get a little bit wonky, but you know, it still isn't, because two things you can do. Once you've got the strip set done and you're going to have it all trimmed up, you're going to trim it, everything up, make sure it's the right size. You can do a tiny little basting stitch on this woven ribbon all the way around, and that just keeps it from getting like too stretchy. Sometimes we do that around our quilts before we quilt them. So you're welcome to do that there, but it's not necessary and it's not in the instructions, because you're putting these borders on next. So sometimes we just feel like we can just flip the border and sew, but I would suggest, because this is sewn on point, that you do lots of pinning here. So like, you know, maybe every couple of inches, and just do pinning all the way along on this border and this border, and it's going to fit out just wonderful. And that is your woven border. And then you just have two more borders to sew together on either end. Make sure that the bigger part is on the bottom and the smaller part is right underneath his feet or her feet. And you can sew your quilt together. And we're almost there, friends. It's getting so close. So that is a very doable week 5. So there it is. That is a very doable week 5 of the Bee and Elf Quilt-Along. You can completely do this. It's so much fun. In fact, you might love woven borders so much that you might start making woven border pillows and woven border quilts and just keep doing a whole quilt of the border. Who knows? But to this week, let's just focus on getting the woven border done on the Bee and Elf quilt. Sew it together, and you'll come back next week on week 6, which is our last sort of assembly week, but we'll still have a week after that for the grand prize, about the snowflakes. We're going to show you a couple of different ways to put them on next week, so you won't want to miss that. It's just sort of a fun and really creative way. This is just a sort of a wonderful way to finish off the Bee and Elf quilt, and it's a great way that you can be creative. The quilt that I'm making right now has a white background, so I'm going to actually use colorful snowflakes, and it's going to be really fun. I do want to mention again that if you haven't already, please do go make sure that you have signed up for the Bee and Elf Quilt-Along on the Be So Inspired homepage. Even if you're signed up for the newsletter already, it is important that you're there because those are the names we are drawing for on the grand prize on December 1st. So just a review of all the goodies that are up for grabs. That quarter shop is giving us a $50 gift card to give to one winner. So congratulations. That's going to be so exciting. Thank you, Fat Quarter Shop. AccuQuilt is giving 100 points towards any of their products. And that is so generous. Thank you so much, AccuQuilt. ThermoWeb is giving another $50 gift card, and we are going to talk about some using ThermoWeb to do some raw edge applique. So that comes in super handy for that winner. Thank you so much, ThermoWeb. Blue Door Quilting, that's Katie. She's donating edge-to-edge long arm quilting for the Bee and Elf Quilt-Along for one winner. So you'll get your quilt quilted too by a professional long arm quilter. That's really generous. And she's also offering a 20% discount to all Bee and Elf quilt makers in the next, I'll have to check with her, but a certain amount of months after. So if you don't already follow her, make sure you do. It's Blue Door Quilting. She's putting all kinds of fun reels and videos on her feed right now. It's really good. And then you'll get 3 months also to Inspired Mini Quilts. So that's where Be So Inspired. We give mini quilts every month. We have a special little Facebook group just for this club. It's really fun. We share in there. We have other freebies happening in there, and they get these patterns before they are even released to the public. So there's lots of fun stuff coming up in 2022. I can't wait to tell you about it in that club. If you want to join that club already, it's just $5 a month. So you can also do that on the homepage of Be So Inspired. It's just been so fun, my friends. I cannot wait to get our whole quilts coming together. It's so exciting seeing everybody's quilts. There's tons coming in the Inspired Quilting Facebook group, so thank you for joining there. There's also so many comments on the Be So Inspired YouTube channel. Thank you for liking and following the videos there, and thank you for posting it on social media too, so I can keep sharing, and it just brings me so much joy to see all these elves popping in my feed every day. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Can't wait to see your woven borders. This is a really fun way to finish off our piecing of the quilt, and I'll see you back here next week. Bye for now, everyone.